What is up, YouTube? This is DBZ439 coming at you with a Dinomist deck combo video slash deck analysis. Before we get into that, I just wanted to talk about a couple of things. This past weekend, I went to the Dallas Regionals with my Dinomist with a record of 6-1-1. It was quite unfortunate that in the championship round, they had to do a deck check and they DQ'd me for having marked sleeves. I bought a new pack of sleeves 2 weeks prior to the event, so I had no idea that my sleeves would be marked. It was just unfortunate that the side of my sleeves, I think 3 of them grand total for my deck, were slightly a different color iteration from the other ones, and because of that, they suspected that I was cheating with marked sleeves, and that was just all quite unfortunate. I know in my heart that I didn't cheat, and if anything, it was just an honest mistake. Apparently, this is a big issue in YCS, and people get DQ'd without the intention of cheating, and it's all just quite unfortunate. So anyways, I'm not here to blame anyone. I learned my lesson, and I'm going to make sure my sleeves are not marked, and I hope that others learn from my experience. So moving on, people are requesting for a combo video, and how is Dinomist doing so well in the current meta? But let me make something clear before I get into that. It's not all about running the best cards, the most expensive cards, or the best deck. If you're able to understand the meta, counter the meta, and pilot your deck in a way that it can counter the meta, or counter whatever deck you play, you are going to win. And with vigorous playtesting, I have almost mastered every single combo in this deck, so that leads to less mistakes while I'm dueling. So that's one key factor of winning as well. And if you want to look for a deck profile, I'm not going to do a deck profile in this video. Please check out my channel for the deck profile. Also, I want to talk about the meta and how Dinomist is so good against the meta. So I'm going to first talk about Goukis. Now, the thing with Gouki is that if you're able to hinder their board, prevent them from making the extra link thing, then that's one way of slowing them down. And also, since Goukis is my hardest matchup, that's why I have the most side cards against them. But also going first, it's really easy to beat them because if you can go into Abyss Dweller, that automatically shuts them down. And another thing is about this deck is that if your opponent allows you to go off with your Electromite, you're most likely going to win the duel. And that's one thing. And another thing about this current format is that not that many people run trap cards. And so that's why playing against decks like Paleos and Altergeist is pretty troublesome because they run trap cards to hinder your plays, but the only thing that can hinder your play is hand traps. And if they don't hand trap you while you're doing your thing, you're going to go off. And that's a neat thing about Dinomist. So anyways, so that's one thing about Gouki is like if you're able to make Dweller your first turn, and if you have your hand traps and you're able to just slow them down just a little bit, knowing what to hit with your hand traps. Like I said before, I do not play Ash or Droll. Only hand traps I play is Effective Alien and Ghost Ogre. So if you're able to time those cards correctly, you're probably going to be able to win the duel. So that's for Goukis. The next matchup I want to talk about is Sky Striker, my favorite matchup because one of the side cards I play is Spell Canceller, and it's searchable off of Clee Genius, and I use that in the regionals. And besides, if you want to know what matchups I played in the regionals, I'll be posting it below down in the video. But Sky Strikers, it's also a good matchup because of Magical Abductor and your Scale 6 Dinomist, because your Scale 6 Dinomist prevent from targeting your other Dinomist cards, so Widow Anchor is effectively useless. So yeah, that's pretty much about Sky Strikers. I mean, they don't have anything scary, honestly. Like, the only thing that would be scary really is just a Widow Anchor and like interrupting your plays, but if you have your Scale 6, you're able to like pop off. And Khalifa Genius is key in that matchup because it's unaffected by spell cards, so you're able to continue on with your plays. So that's what's Sky Striker, and the last matchup I want to talk about is Altergeist. I'm pretty sure there's other decks that you guys are curious about, but these are the main matchups that I think are the metas right now. And Altergeist is pretty tough, not gonna lie, because if they go first, like you have to play through their traps, so you have to be careful on that. But if you go first, the main thing with Altergeist, if you're able to stop Multi-Faker, then you're able to stop their plays. If you're able to disrupt their back row, then they're not going to be able to do anything. And so So yeah, I mean, Tornado Dragon's key, and amongst other key factors. But anyways, without any further ado, I want to show you guys this combo. I know I picked out my hand, but I just want to say something. If you open Magical Abductor, if you open any spell card in your deck, and the only spell cards that run is Dinomist Charge, Pot of Desires, and Upstart Goblin, but for this combo I want to show off Dinomist Charge. Any turbo card in your deck. So it's Ceratops, Passing Glider, Abyss Curtain Raiser. So that's 9 cards. And any normal summonable level 4 Pendulum monster. So for this case, I'm just showing off Plesios. And this card could be any card. I just pulled out this card just for the sake of the combo. It could be any Pendulum card. It could be a Hand Trap. It could be Dinomist Howling. It could be anything. But for the sake of the video, I just picked out this random one. So without any further ado, let's get on with the combo. So the very first thing you're going to do is activate Magical Abductor. Next, you're going to activate Dinomist Charge. And when you activate Dinomist Charge, and pretend that your opponent doesn't have any hand traps. And even if they did, like, they'll just slow you down a little bit. And that's another thing about Dinomist. It's just like with BA. Like, they don't get hurt too much by hand traps. Ash hurts a little bit. Droll doesn't do that much to you. And if they have cherries and hit Electromite, that slows you down a bit, but you can still play through that. Ghost Ogre kind of hurts, but not that many people play Ghost Ogre now. And Valor slows me down a little bit, but not too much. But yeah, anyways, furthering on with the combo, I'm going to activate Dinomist Charge, and I'm going to search a Dinomist card. So I'm going to search, let's see, I'm going to search a Dinomist Terran. And I'll at this point, it really doesn't matter what you search because you already have your normal summon and you already have your turbo card to get you to Electromite. So I'm going to normal summon the Plesios. Now I'm going to special summon the Ceratops because I don't control a Ceratops and all my monsters I control a Dinomist, so I'm able to special summon for free. And the reason why I did the normal summon the Plesios and not the Terran is because what I'm about to show you. So I'm going to link summon into Electromite. So this is going to be a Chain Link 1 and Chain Link 2. The reason why this is a Chain Link 1 is because it's a mandatory effect, and this is an optional effect. So I'm going to recur the Plesios, and I'm going to use Electromite's effect to send something. Now, the reason why I got the Plesios is because if for some reason they stop this Electromite or something, at least I'll have a scale 6 to pendulum summon my monsters. But anyways, I'm going to use Electromite. And usually when I use Electromite's effect, I would send a Magical Abductor, but since I already have a Magical Abductor on my scale, I can send literally any monster of my choosing. So I will choose, let's say, Dinomist Rex. And the reason why I'm doing different named Dinomist cards is because you run Rescue Hamster. So if that card ever comes to the duel later on, you're able to resolve its effect. So anyway, so I send the Dinomist Rex. And now I am, and so keep in mind I have 2 level 5s, 2 level 4s, and a level 5 in my hand. So the idea is to have 2 level 5s on board and 2 level 4s on board. So next I'm just going to activate Brachion, right? And when I activate Brachion, Magical Abductor gains the counter. Now I'm going to use Electromite effect, pop the Brachion, and add the Rex. Reason why I wanted to add the Rex and not the Brachion, you could add the Brachion if you wanted to, but the reason why I want to put the Rex in the scale is because if I ever wanted to access Rex later on in the duel, and if it gets destroyed somehow, I can like either pendulum summon it or whatever, because Brachion's useless, right? It's just the Cyber Dragon. So that's why I got the Rex. So I got the Rex and Electromite to let me draw. It could be any card, but for the sake of the combo, I'm just gonna pull out Dinomist Howling. But remember, this could be any card you draw. But I just want to show you how dumb this card is. So anyway, so I'm gonna activate Dinomist Rex on the scale. So this has 3 counters. Once it has 3 counters, you can use the effect to search any pendulum monster. So now you have 2 5s, 2 4s, and you can at this point you can search anything, literally anything. But I'm going to search Plesios. Reason being, I'm going to search Plesios is because he's the only card that does something on your opponent's turn and that they lower their attack points. So anyways, so I'm going to search the Plesios. And this is just the most broken board right now, okay? So now I'm just going to pendulum summon, right? I'm going to pendulum summon 5. So the 2 5s right here, the links, and the 1, 2, 3 cards from my hand, okay? And now I have a Dinomist Howling in my hand, right? So then, next I'm going to go into Cyber Dragon Infinity. Right here. So Nova, Infinity. Now, at this time, depending on your matchup, your rank 4, it could be either a Dweller, it could be Bahamut Shark, but I'll show you the Bahamut Shark thing real quick, because people are asking how do you have Toad and Bahamut Shark in one play. So you can have Bahamut Shark, and then you can use Infinity's effect, suck up the Electromite, detach the Terran. Make sure you detach the Terran, because if Toad ever gets sent to the grave, you can always recur the Terran, because he's pretty key. So then you can summon the Toad right here. But for the sake of this video, I'm going to summon something else. So I'm not going to go into Shark. I'm going to go into Dweller, because Dweller is so good in this format. Like, it shuts down so many decks. And it gives a power boost to all your water monsters, so Plesios being included. And then the Electromite's right here. And Dweller just shuts down so many decks, any Nightmare decks, any BAs or anything like that. And then the Dinomist Howling. I'm going to set this card face down. So check this out. Standby phase. They draw effect of Dweller. If they do Gamma, you just use Infinity Negate. Right? So now, check this out. You have Abyss Dweller, so they can't activate anything from their grave. If they activate any spell cards, you go to gain counters, and if they activate enough spell cards, you can search your next turn. You have a Howling right here, so if you want to interrupt their plays, you can tribute off of Dynamis Plesios and bounce any card. Like, it can be a back row card too. So when you tribute the Plesios, it'll go to your extra deck and it'll go right back to your hand because of Dynamis Charge. So you can keep spamming that. The next turn you'll normal summon, pendulum summon, whatever. And you can use Dynamis Howling to bounce. If they ever target any of your Dynamis cards, you can use Rex to tribute to negate it. And it'll just add back because of Dynamis Charge. Infinity's Infinity if you want to negate something. And another thing about Rex, if they target something and it gets sent to the extra deck, Electromite will trigger and you'll be able to draw a card. So yeah, so this is just such a broken board. But anyways, YouTube, that's just the one combo I wanted to show off. There's many more combos in the deck, but this is the main one. And thank you so much for watching this video. If you have any opinion of the matter, please post it down in the video below. I want to hear you guys' thoughts on the matter. And once again, please like the video, share, subscribe, and have a nice day.